Hey YouTube, Motor Racing Network, Steve Post with another great group of diecast cars that we've received from Lionel. Now this is a special edition of diecast cars because what we needed to do, we wanted to get these so quick. We're just like you. We want to get our hands on our diecast cars as much as you do. So these are cars that we have had air freighted in, and what that means is that, well, they're shipped in advance. They get here a lot quicker than the traditional shipping methods that these cars have. So these things a little bit higher as far as the price goes because of the shipping costs, but they are here now. They are in stock at your local diecast dealer or at planbsales.com. And let's start down on the end. Drag racing, their championship run begins here, and John Force is going to be the man to beat in the funny cars. And look at this. This is the Castrol GTX high mileage Ford Mustang. John Force has his last year with Ford and his last year with Castrol, so you want to make sure you get your hands on this John Force diecast, and we have it now in stock because of air freight. His little girl Courtney Force with her Traxxas Ford Mustang, also one of the drivers that's going to run for the NHRA Championship in the funny car ranks. And so Courtney Force, we've got Courtney Force's car here as well. So those are some NHRA cars that we have. We also have a huge collection of NASCAR cars that have been air freighted in. Austin Dillon's America's Salute Bass Pro Shops car with the NRA Museum on it. One of the great cars that he has ran this year. And Kurt Busch's American Tribute as well, American Salute Haas CNC car. And again, a little bit of red, white, and blue coloring on what is the traditional flat black and red with a little white trim car that Kurt Busch races. Here's Jamie McMurray's car. Now this is the Talladega car from last year. It has Auburn University on it, celebrating the Auburn National Championship, autographed by Jamie McMurray with the Certificate of Authenticity. So when you get autographed stuff, again, the Certificate of Authenticity, but we have the Cessna Chevrolet from Jamie McMurray. The 3M window film colors that Greg Biffle ran earlier. We've got this Mustang from Roush Fenway Racing. Good looking race car there with the flames and, well, with all of the fire marks along the side of it. Just a really cool looking race car. It's one of my favorite trucks that we had. This one raced at Pocono just a little bit ago. It is Austin Dillon's Yuengling Light Lager truck from his race at Pocono earlier this year. Yuengling, a Pennsylvania brewery, America's oldest brewery, sponsoring the Dillon boys this year with this sponsorship of Austin Dillon. Now I love when we get our historic diecast. Look at this one, Jack Ingram's Oak Stone sponsored NASCAR Busch Series car. Jack, a NASCAR Hall of Famer, and this car is an absolute beauty. The detail work that Lionel does on these cars absolutely amazes me. So love having that car available now that Jack Ingram raced so many years ago. And we have AJ Allmendinger. Of course, a lot has been made of AJ this year, picking up the ride with JTG Dougherty Racing. We've got the Kingsford car in. We've got the standard edition of the race car. We have got the standard edition autographed by AJ Allmendinger. And we've got the color chrome edition of the Kingsford Charcoal Chevrolet from JTG Dougherty Racing, autographed by AJ Allmendinger. What a year they've had. Picked up that win at Watkins Glen, running for the championship. So we have got AJ Allmendinger diecast. This again has been air freighted in. A couple of the 1/64th scale cars that we have. The Folds of Honor Outback Steakhouse car for Kevin Harvick that he raced earlier this year. We've got Alex Bowman's car from up at BK Racing. Great little race car there in the 1/64th scale. And we've got Kurt Busch's State Water Heaters car as well in 1/64th, and technically this was a normally shipped to us race car. The rest of these cars shipped via air freight. We wanted to get our hands on them, and we want you to get your hands on this great collection of diecast that is all available at your local diecast dealers or at planbsales.com. And stay with us. The post show with your questions is coming up next. All right, it's time for our favorite part of the show, because this is where we get to hear from you and chat with you, as we do virtually here on the YouTube channel as part of our diecast review show. And what this is, it's the post show. And what it is your questions right down below. Just type your questions in, and who knows, maybe they'll be part of the post show in the next episode. One of the questions we have from Race Car Boy 93 is, what is the difference between an air freight car and a non air freight car? Is that how, and that's a great question, and because we're focused on the air freight cars, it's a great time to answer the question. Basically, it's in shipping. When they're shipped traditionally, they come across the ocean, because they're made in the Far East, they come across the ocean in a boat. That takes a lot of time. Air freight means they get here quicker. Air freight also means it costs a little bit more. So when we say it's been air freighted in, means the price is going to be a little bit higher because of the shipping costs, but the delivery time, it's in stock, where it might take a little bit more time to get here with traditional shipping models. So great question about the technicalities that we deal with in the diecast world. Charles Bright writes in and says, do you think Road America will eventually be added to the Sprint Cup Series? Okay, Charles, I'm going to answer this two ways. Do I think it will ultimately be added? No. Do I want it to be added? Absolutely yes. That is one of my favorite places to go, and I think NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing would be absolutely amazing on Road America, but I just don't see it happening with the schedule the way it is. Just don't see it happening, but boy, that bums me out, even the thought of it, because Charles, I would love to see racing for the Sprint Cup Series up at Road America. FedEx Cup Series writes in, do you think Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy, and Gordon will end up in the top 4 for the final race? And that's a great question, and it gets to this chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. I do think that 2 of those 3, and I don't know which ones, will end up in that championship battle. The reason I don't think all 3, and I think all 3 are really, really good, I have a hunch that there might be 2 Penske cars in that battle as well. And the problem of it is, if you take Jimmy, Dale Jr., Gordon, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski, that's 5. We can't have 5. And it's just a numbers game with me, because all 5 of those teams are very, very good. So I'm not sure which one I would pull out, but I don't know that 3 Hendrick cars will make it into the championship run. Although they might. They're that good, and they might very well do that. But that's a great question. Mr. Whaley writes in and says, who has been the most impressive in the Camping World Truck Series? And boy, the Truck Series has been awful good this year. You know, this with the young talent that we have, a guy like Herman Quiroga has been really, really good. Ryan Blaney, he has not disappointed at all. But I really think the guy that's most impressed me is Bubba Wallace. He's just been so good. He won that race at Gateway, and winning that race at Eldora. You know, when a driver comes in, they work and they scratch and they claw to get that first win. And some drivers stay right there. And Bubba won that race last year in October up at Martinsville Speedway. And then the fear is you're going to be a one-hit wonder. Well, Bubba Wallace came out this season and let it be known that he is not a one-hit wonder with wins at Gateway. And that win at Eldora was spectacular, holding off that run of Kyle Larson at the end of the night. Really, really good. So I would dare say I think Bubba Wallace has been the most impressive. But we've got some fine young racers in that NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. NRC JF88. Is there any old NASCAR tracks that you would love to see back on the circuit? Oh my gosh, is there any old NASCAR tracks that I wouldn't want to see back on the circuit? I think is the question. If I had to pick one, it would be Rockingham. I just love going to Rockingham. I love the racing at Rockingham, and I just love it. I don't think it's going to happen, nor do I think a place like North Wilkesboro would be another great one to see on the tour, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm not sure what new tracks we get in the next 5 years. I'm not sure if there are any old tracks that come back on, but boy, there's a bunch of them that I would love to see on the tour. Those 2 here in North Carolina would be probably my favorite 2, but I don't expect to see either one of those tracks make it on the tour. Tommy Kennedy writes in, do you think you will see other series racing at Eldora? As much as I'd like to, Tommy, I don't think we will. I think right now it is what it is. One race on the dirt, the Truck Series, it's a winner. Why add to it? Why dilute it a little bit? So I really think we stay with the Truck Series on the dirt track at Eldora. Could be wrong. They could get a nationwide series date a couple years down the road. I know it won't happen next year, but right now I think it's the trucks only for Eldora, and it gives the Truck Series a marquee event, and boy, it's been a winner the 2 years we've ran there. And finally, Petty Blue 43 writes in, since Justin Allgaier is being sponsored by Plan B Sales at New Hampshire this fall, do you think you can get him to sign some diecast of the car? Well, the answer is absolutely, and the car is being produced. We've already gone through the formalities of it. You can go to planbsales.com and type in Justin Allgaier, and you can get your Plan B Sales Chevrolet pre-ordered. That race is coming up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We also have the Brandt Chevrolet for Justin Allgaier. I know a lot of his fans are glad to see that we have the Brandt Chevrolet, but the Plan B Sales Chevrolet, we're so excited about what's going on at New Hampshire with Justin Allgaier, and yes, there will be diecast, and yes, there will be autographed diecast of Justin Allgaier with the Plan B sales car. And we're going to have some other items as well, some apparel items and some other great things as well with Plan B sales on it for Justin Allgaier. We are so pumped up about that sponsorship of Justin Allgaier. And with that, that wraps up another edition of the Post Show here on our diecast review. We are so glad. Keep those questions coming in. Type them in right down below and we'll be glad to answer them. Follow along on Twitter and Facebook. A lot of deals, the deal of the day, the vault, the rock bottom deals on the website. So many ways to stay in touch, and we love chatting with you. We love doing it here on the Post Show on our Diecast Review Show. We love that you guys are getting involved with us here on YouTube. We have the comments below. Feel free to mention your comments here. Follow us on Twitter at Plan B Sales, and we'll keep you informed on what we have. And please get some back and forth conversation going, because we love talking racing and love talking with you race fans out there, and we appreciate the business you do give us. So